Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless Official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The world seemed to stop spinning for Victoria Newman that afternoon, a quiet, deceptively ordinary day that would soon shatter her already fragile heart. She had been at Newman Towers, reviewing quarterly projections, when a familiar laugh drifted down the hallway, a soft, melodic sound that instantly froze her in place. It was Claire's laugh. But it wasn't the sound itself that made Victoria pause, it was who she heard with her daughter. The deep, low rumble of a man's voice, tender yet commanding. Matt Clark. The very name had become synonymous with trouble, with buried lies and ghosts of the past that refused to stay dead. Victoria's pulse quickened, her instinct screaming that something was off. Slowly, quietly, she set down her pen and followed the sound, her designer heels silent against the marble as she approached the half-open conference room door. What she saw on the other side made her blood run cold. Claire, her daughter, was standing face to face with Matt Clark, and not in confrontation or fear. There was something soft, almost reverent, in her expression. Before Victoria could process what she was seeing, Claire stepped forward and wrapped her arms around Matt in an embrace that didn't fit any explanation Victoria could think of. It wasn't romantic, nor was it casual. It was something deeper, primal, instinctive, born of connection. And when Claire whispered, "I finally found you, my father," the air left Victoria's lungs in a sharp, silent gasp. Her mind reeled, her chest tightening as the words echoed through the room like a gunshot. Father. The word hit her like a physical blow. She clutched the doorframe to steady herself, her perfectly polished nails digging into the wood as her vision blurred. She wanted to believe she'd misheard, that her daughter was mistaken, but the way Matt's eyes filled with remorse and pride at the same time confirmed it all. "I never wanted you to find out this way," Matt murmured, his voice trembling. "But you deserve to know the truth. I am your biological father." Claire's lip quivered, her breath catching as she whispered, "All these years, you were right there." Victoria's world crashed down in that instant, the foundations of her reality crumbling. She stumbled back, heart pounding, unable to breathe. Her daughter, her sweet, lost, finally healed daughter, was hugging the man who had once tried to destroy her life. The man she thought she'd left buried in her past. Victoria's thoughts swirled in chaos. How? When? Why hadn't she seen it sooner? Memories flickered like lightning, small details that suddenly made horrifying sense. Matt's strange protectiveness of Claire. His obsessive interest in her recovery after the kidnapping. His refusal to leave town even after the Newmans made it clear he wasn't welcome. Victoria had dismissed it as manipulation or revenge, but now, with that one word, everything realigned into a dark, painful truth. Claire wasn't biologically hers. She was Matt's. And the realization hit her like a knife to the heart. Tears welled in her eyes as she backed away, her body trembling. She didn't even realize she'd dropped her folder until papers scattered across the floor. The noise startled Claire, who turned sharply. "Mom?" The single word broke through the fog of disbelief. Victoria's breath hitched as she met her daughter's gaze, 1,000 emotions battling inside her. Rage. Grief. Love. Betrayal. "Mom, I can explain," Claire began, stepping toward her, but Victoria's hand shot up, trembling violently. "Don't," she whispered, her voice raw. "Don't you dare." The air between them crackled with tension. Matt straightened, his guilt etched across his face. "Victoria," he began carefully, "this isn't how I wanted you to find out." She let out a bitter, broken laugh. "Oh, really? And how did you plan on telling me, Matt? Before or after you destroyed my family again?" Her words dripped venom, but her voice trembled with pain. "You stole everything from me once, my peace, my trust, my dignity. And now you've taken my daughter." Claire's eyes filled with tears. "You haven't lost me, Mom," she pleaded, stepping forward. "You'll always be my mother. Nothing changes that." But Victoria shook her head in disbelief. Nothing changes that, she repeated, her tone cracking. Claire, everything changes that. You have his blood in your veins, the man who tormented me, who nearly ruined my life. And you kept this from me? Claire's lips parted in confusion. I only found out last week, she whispered. Matt told me the truth about his past with you, about how he didn't know. He said he didn't know I existed. Victoria turned toward Matt, her eyes blazing through her tears. You didn't know, she hissed. You always know, Matt. You always have a plan, a game, a manipulation. Tell me, was this your endgame? Use my daughter against me again? Matt stepped forward cautiously, his voice low but firm. Victoria, I'm not the man I was. I didn't even know Claire was mine until the DNA results came back. She came to me, searching for answers, and I couldn't lie to her. For a moment, time froze. The room filled with the weight of all the unspoken years, all the pain and secrets festering beneath the surface. Victoria shook her head slowly, backing away from both of them. No, she murmured, almost to herself. This can't be happening. This is some kind of cruel joke. But the truth was written in their eyes, the shared resemblance she had refused to see before, the way Claire's eyes mirrored Matt's when she was angry, the subtle mannerisms she'd brushed off as coincidence. It was all there, mocking her. She turned and stumbled into the hallway, her heels clicking unevenly against the floor as she pressed a hand to her chest, trying to steady her breath. Her mind flooded with images, Claire as a baby in her arms, Claire's laughter as a little girl, Claire whispering, I love you, Mom, after her nightmares. Every moment now tainted with a haunting question, had she been living a lie? Behind her, Claire's voice broke through the silence. Mom, please don't go. But Victoria couldn't turn back. She fled down the corridor, her vision blurred by tears, the walls closing in. In the privacy of her office, Victoria collapsed into her chair, her body shaking uncontrollably. She clutched a framed photo of herself and Claire, taken just months earlier, before everything had fallen apart. How could this be, she whispered, tracing Claire's smiling face with trembling fingers. Her phone buzzed on the desk, a message from Nick. Just checking on you. Haven't heard from you since the board meeting. She wanted to answer, to reach out to someone, but the words wouldn't come. How could she explain the unexplainable? Meanwhile, in the conference room, Claire sat in stunned silence, tears streaming down her cheeks. She hates me, she whispered brokenly. Matt knelt beside her, his expression heavy with guilt. She doesn't hate you, Claire. She's in shock. This is a lot to process. Claire shook her head. No. You don't understand. She's my mom. The only mom I've ever known. And now I've destroyed her. Matt swallowed hard, his jaw tightening. You didn't destroy anything. The truth did. I made mistakes, unforgivable ones, but I won't let you pay for them. He placed a hand on her shoulder, fatherly and protective. I know it hurts, but you deserve to know who you are. Back in her office, Victoria replayed every moment of her history with Matt Clark, his betrayal, his obsession, his dark manipulations. Years ago, she thought she'd buried him for good. Now fate had dragged his shadow back into her life in the most vicious way imaginable. And the cruelest part? The innocent young woman she'd fought so hard to save, the daughter she'd nearly died to protect, was his. When the door opened quietly behind her, Victoria didn't have to look up to know it was Claire. The soft, hesitant knock was enough. Mom, Claire whispered, her voice trembling. Please talk to me. Victoria's jaw clenched as she stared out the window, tears glistening in her eyes. There's nothing left to say. Claire stepped closer. Yes, there is. You're my mother. You raised me. You loved me when no one else did. That doesn't change just because Matt, don't say his name. Victoria snapped, spinning around. The force of her pain startled Claire, who flinched. You have no idea what that man did to me. You have no idea what it cost me to survive him. Silence fell, heavy and suffocating. Claire's voice broke as she whispered, "I know he hurt you. He told me everything. But he also said he's sorry. He's changed." Victoria laughed bitterly through her tears. Changed? Men like Matt Clark don't change. They destroy. That's what they do. And now he's found a new way to destroy me, through you. Her voice cracked as the truth poured out. You were the one thing in my life that was pure, Claire. The one thing I thought was untouched by all the lies and pain. And now even that's been ripped away from me. Claire's own tears fell freely as she stepped forward, her voice trembling. You didn't lose me, Mom. I'm still me. I still love you. She reached out, desperate to bridge the distance between them. After a long, painful pause, Victoria looked at her daughter's trembling hand, and then at her face. The face she had loved since the day she'd first held her. Slowly, with tears streaming down her cheeks, Victoria whispered, I want to believe that. I do. But right now, I don't know what's real anymore. The moment stretched into eternity. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, Claire murmured, I'm sorry. She turned and left, her sobs echoing down the hall. Victoria sank to her knees, clutching the photo frame to her chest, the sound of her heartbreak filling the empty room. Later that night, alone in her penthouse, Victoria sat by the window with a glass of wine she hadn't touched. The city lights glowed outside, mocking her pain. Her reflection in the glass looked like a stranger, broken, hollow, lost. She remembered the way Claire had hugged Matt, the way their connection had felt natural, unforced. It haunted her. A cruel twist of fate had stolen her daughter's bloodline and tied it to the man she hated most. But deep down, beneath all the pain, she couldn't silence one undeniable truth. No DNA test, no secret, no betrayal could erase the love she felt for Claire. That love was real, fierce, maternal, unbreakable. And so, as dawn began to rise over Genoa City, Victoria made a vow to herself. She would not let Matt Clark win. He could take her peace, her trust, even her blood ties, but he would never take her daughter's heart. She would fight, not as the CEO of Newman Enterprises, not as a victim of Matt's schemes, but as a mother determined to reclaim what was hers. Because no matter what biology said, Claire was hers. And no secret, no past, no man could ever change that. Yet as she gazed out at the skyline, a cold whisper of doubt crept into her mind, a chilling thought that maybe, just maybe, destiny had other plans. For in Genoa City, every truth came with a price, and Victoria Newman was about to learn that even the deepest love could be tested by blood. Victoria barely slept that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw it, Claire's arms around Matt, that tender, heartbreaking hug that burned itself into her mind. It was a vision she couldn't shake, no matter how tightly she clutched the glass of wine or how many times she whispered, it's not true, it can't be true. But no amount of denial could silence the echo of Claire's voice, I finally found you, my father. Those words tore through her chest like shards of glass. Her daughter, the girl she'd fought for, cried for, bled for, was connected by blood to the one man she swore she'd never forgive. As dawn broke, the city stirred to life beneath her penthouse window. But for Victoria, everything still felt eerily frozen. The clinking of the clock, the faint hum of the heater, it all blurred into white noise. She stared at her reflection, red-eyed and exhausted, wondering how she'd let this happen. How had she missed the signs? How had fate been so cruel as to twist her life into this nightmare again? Her heart ached, not just from betrayal, but from something even deeper, fear. Fear that she might lose Claire completely. Her phone buzzed again, this time, it was a text from Nick. Vic, we need to talk. Heard something weird about Matt and Claire. Call me. Victoria's stomach clenched. So it's already spreading. The walls were closing in, and she knew the Newman name would soon be dragged through the mud once again. She didn't even want to imagine what Victor would say when he found out his granddaughter was biologically linked to Matt Clark, the man who had nearly destroyed his family decades ago. The sound of the elevator doors startled her. Before she could gather herself, the doors opened, and there stood Claire. Her eyes were swollen from crying, her blonde hair tangled, her entire posture drenched in regret. "Mom," she whispered softly. "Please. Don't shut me out." Victoria stood, her arms folded tightly across her chest. Her expression was calm, but her voice trembled with restrained emotion. "You shouldn't be here, Claire." "I had to come," Claire pleaded, stepping closer. "I couldn't sleep. I can't stop thinking about what happened. I never wanted to hurt you." Victoria turned away, her gaze fixed on the city skyline. "You didn't just hurt me, Claire," she said quietly. "You tore open a wound I've spent years trying to heal." "I didn't know." Claire's voice cracked. "I didn't even know who he was until I ran those stupid DNA tests." Victoria's head snapped toward her. "You what?" Claire flinched. I did a DNA ancestry test," she admitted, her voice trembling. "After everything that happened with the kidnapping, I wanted to understand where I came from. I didn't think it would matter. But when I got the results, there was a match, Matt Clark." Victoria's jaw clenched. "And instead of coming to me, you went to him." "I didn't plan it that way." Claire cried. "I just needed to hear it from him. I needed to know if it was real. And when he confirmed it, I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I'd have time." Victoria shook her head, her tone trembling between anger and heartbreak. "Time? Claire, there's never enough time for something like this. You don't drop a bomb like that and expect everything to stay the same." Tears streamed down Claire's cheeks. "I didn't want to lose you," she whispered. "You're my mom. You're the one who raised me, who saved me. I thought if I told you, you'd look at me differently." "I am looking at you differently," Victoria admitted, her voice breaking. "Because every time I see you, I see him. The man who manipulated me, lied to me, nearly ruined my life, and now he's taken something from me again." Claire's sobs filled the silence. "He didn't take me from you, Mom. I went to him. I wanted answers. I was the one who asked for a test. I thought it would help me understand why I've always felt different. Like something was missing." Victoria's eyes softened for a moment, but her pain remained. "And did you find what you were looking for?" Claire wiped her tears. "I found out who I am. But I also found out that who I am doesn't change how much I love you." Victoria looked at her daughter, truly looked, and for the first time since that awful moment in the conference room, she saw not Matt's shadow, but the frightened, broken little girl she had fought so hard to bring back from the darkness. Her heart ached, but she couldn't bring herself to reach out. "Love doesn't erase the truth," she said softly. "And it doesn't make this hurt any less." The elevator dinged again, and this time, it was Matt. He stepped out with his usual quiet confidence, though his expression was heavy with guilt. "Victoria," he said carefully. "I didn't come here to fight. I came to explain." Victoria's voice hardened instantly. "You've done enough explaining, Matt. Every word that's ever come out of your mouth has been a lie." Matt took a step closer, his eyes steady. "Not this time. I didn't know, Victoria. You can hate me for everything else, but not for this." She glared at him. "You expect me to believe you didn't know you had a daughter with me?" He sighed. "We both know how that time was. You left Genoa City without telling anyone. You didn't return my calls. And when I came back, you wanted nothing to do with me. I thought you'd moved on." Victoria's voice cracked as she spat. "I did move on. I built a life without you. But you slithered back into my world the moment you saw a chance to hurt me again." Matt's voice rose slightly. "I didn't come back for revenge. I came back because I thought maybe I could make peace with what happened. And then Claire came into my life, and I didn't even know why I felt drawn to her at first. I thought it was guilt, maybe. But when the DNA results came in, everything made sense." Victoria's heart pounded in her chest, torn between disbelief and fury. You ruined me, Matt. You took pieces of me I can never get back. And now, you've tainted the one pure thing I had left, my daughter. I didn't taint her, Matt said quietly. I gave her the truth. You've always said honesty matters. Well, this is the truth, ugly, painful, and real. You don't get to twist this into something noble, Victoria hissed, her voice shaking. You broke my heart, and now you're breaking hers. Matt's face softened. I'm not your enemy, Victoria. Not anymore. I know what I did to you can never be undone, but I won't let Claire grow up hating herself for something that isn't her fault.